there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them, if they need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Pop Culture Justice. I am Andy Signore, and I'm here with Steph the Alternate. And yeah, we're live. We are live officially. So happy to have... oh, hold on. Let me fix this because I clicked the wrong button. And where is she? There she is. Steph and Kim popping in as well as I... there they are. Hold on. I'm just going to redo it again. Here we go. Hello. Take two. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm so happy to be here with Steph the Alternate, and it's Kim. How you both doing, ladies?
Doing good.
Sorry for the croaky voice there. Sorry, Andy.
Ribbit.
Usually we can hear the music as well on Zoom as it's all counting down.
Oh,
so
it's
I
all
didn't
good.
know that you had started.
It was happening. It was happening. We are live, and we're so happy to be here with you guys watching. Sorry for the delay. Diego's next door. He's been home sick from school today, so I've been checking in. So if I do dip out or something, that's what's happening. But we have some updates to give you guys regarding the Nicola Bulley case, and it's getting crazy. This case is getting crazy. I'm trying not to add to the speculation because the family has made it clear that they don't want people to be doing that. However, I'm still very frustrated at how the police seem to be handling this, and they literally just inappropriately released a bunch of private information about Nicola that we're going to go through. And I want to bring that to you, along with a TikToker that got arrested, who actually showed up on our friend Grizzly True Crimes channel to talk more about it. But yeah, this case is getting wild. Let's go through some of the updates. Thank you, Kim, Steph, everybody, Claire and Brandon, everybody who was helping us organize today before the show of the latest updates. But let's start with this one, which is the fact that, yes, the police are now facing backlash over releasing her health details. Now, full update, she's still missing. How long has it been now, actually? Do you know, Kim, Steph?
20 days. 20 days.
20 days. The police assume and keep saying that they suspect she fell into the river. Experts have come in and said, well, they would have found her in the river by now. It's now days past when the experts said we would have found her by now in the river because there wasn't enough strong current, etc. We still have not found her in the river. They seem to have stopped searching inside the river and now have moved to other areas, and more things are coming up to light. But this was the latest update where, yeah, this is really messed up. They basically came out and said this comment saying that there were, the first comment was actually something about in fact, I think I have a clip here. We can watch this clip so as the news can sort of break it down
that we heard
for
about
us.
From Lancashire Police earlier today in that press conference. And we can go to Caterina Vitozzi, who, as you know, is in St Michael's on Wire, where Nicola was last seen, for that update that's just been received from Lancashire Police.
Yes, this update, as you say, from Lancashire Police in the last few minutes, and they've described in much more detail what they meant by the specific vulnerabilities that Nicola Bulley was facing, revealed to them by her partner, Paul Ansell. And I'm going to read it to you verbatim. It is quite lengthy, and I will read it from my phone. So sadly, it is clear from speaking to Paul and the family that Nicola had in the past suffered with some significant issues with alcohol, which were brought on by her ongoing struggles with the menopause, and that these struggles had resurfaced over recent months. This caused some real challenges for Paul and the family. The statement continues. As a result of those issues, a response car staffed by both police and health professionals attended a report of concern for welfare at Nicola's home address on January 10th. No one has been arrested in relation to this incident, but it is being investigated.
So yeah, they said that was what I was looking for. The word was vulnerabilities made her a high risk is what happened. And now they've come forward to sort of alert us of it, which I'm confused why we needed to know this.
And they go on to say it is an unusual step for us to go into this level of detail about someone's private life, but we felt it was important to clarify what we meant when we talked about vulnerabilities to avoid any further speculation or misinterpretation. So let me just repeat what we've now learned from that statement, that Nicola had in the past suffered with some significant issues with alcohol, which were brought on by her ongoing struggles with the menopause, and that these struggles had resurfaced over recent months. And this is a significant update because, of course, in that police press conference that we heard earlier, it was those vulnerabilities that caused police to name Nicola Bulley as a high-risk missing person very early into the investigations. At the time, during the press conference, when pressed by media colleagues over what police meant by vulnerabilities, at that time they didn't disclose that in detail, but what now, 2.5 hours later, going into really, again, quite intimate detail over the struggles that Nicola Bulley had, both with alcohol and how those resurfaced. And again, a response car on January 10th, so what's that, 17 days before she disappeared, attending to a report of concern for welfare at the home of Nicola Bulley and Paul Ansell, stressing again that no one was arrested in relation to that incident, but it is still being investigated. So a very...
Well, she's trying to gather it all just like we all are. There's lots coming in. But yeah, I want to stop there and focus on that because, yeah, I don't understand why they needed to reveal this. They keep not giving us any important details. They keep being vague. And then they go out and talk about vulnerabilities and then immediately like, oh, yeah, she had alcohol problems due to her menopause and was having struggles. Like, what the hell? Like, this was not the information I feel like we needed. And if anything, I think it's going to cause more speculation and more awfulness from people out there trying to gather. And I'm just in shock that this is, after all the criticism, this is the information we got from the police. We have more to go through, including the TikToker, the arrest, and et cetera. But I want to go around the panel with you guys to sort of react to this as well, because this seems like a big mess up to me. And it only adds to the frustration I'm having. Before we go to Steph, who is actually out there, this is near your police force. Kim, I'll go to you first. Like, how ridiculous is this for you? Am I crazy, or do you see this being really unacceptable as well?
It bothers me because it makes me scared that, reading between the lines here, if the police believed that this was the situation, is this why they only focused on the river? Did they assume specific things about her disappearance because of other information? And did they let other trails go cold because they profiled her, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
That's my fear, and that's part of why having this type of information released or basing an investigation on the status of someone's mental health or health issues is not always a very good idea, because who says that that is the reason? Just because you have you're going through a health issue or because you have an issue with a substance does not mean that other things can't happen to you. Right? And completely ignoring that to me is very weird. And it also sounds like other people who investigated on this case were not aware of those details either. So it's very confusing. I don't understand why they chose to take this road, but this is part of why people do not disclose their health issues sometimes when they go into situations, because they know assumptions are going to be made. And it's not fair to those people. And that just kind of breaks my heart. And that's why I have an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, Steph, I'm coming to you next, but just in going through all of the data we have, yeah, I mean, the family has reacted. We have a quote. I'll go there in a second. But before, Steph, I want to go to get your thoughts too. Like, this is too much to reveal. Did we need to know this?
It's kind of, to me, like victim blaming.
Yeah.
You know, because of of her menopause and and alcohol issues and all that. That's why she's missing. It's victim blaming. No, never mind about that. Actually, tell us how the investigation is going. Give us an update on that. And anything that the public needs to know to try and effectively help to try and find her. Why they had to release this, I have no idea. Now, I've sent you a link for the this is like the up-to-date thing that I can find this side up pond, guys. So Lancashire Police is the police force that's currently in charge of this investigation. They've referred themselves to the police watchdog. Now, the Home Secretary...
Sorry, what does that actually mean, the police watchdog?
So the police watchdog is essentially the police of the police. They are the organization that the police refer themselves to or are referred to for accountability. If they've done something wrong, then these are the guys that are the regulators of
I don't think we have that here. We just have the police. Well, we have higher levels of police, I guess. But okay, continue.
Yeah. Now, the Home Secretary, how I want to explain that to you guys is, I suppose, would be the equivalent of, let's say, Secretary of State. Something along those lines, okay? Now, the Secretary of State, her name is Ms. Breverman, and she is not happy at all. Suella Breverman is absolutely, to quote, deeply concerned by the actions of the Lancashire Police, and has actually demanded an explanation as to why they released this information. To what end was this supposed to actually help the circumstances? The Watchdog, the spokesman for the Watchdog, said that, this afternoon they received a referral from Lancashire Constabulary regarding contact the force had with Nicola Bulley on January the 10th, prior to a disappearance. So this is the thing, right? Prior to disappearance on January the 10th, the police force actually had contact with Nicola Bulley. So they want to know what the hell went wrong, because then a couple of weeks later, she goes missing. So the Watchdog is assessing the available information to determine whether an investigation into that contact may be required, and if so, who should actually conduct the investigation. And the Home Office, on behalf of Suella Breverman, has said, the Home Secretary was concerned by the disclosure of Nicola Bulley's personal information by Lancashire Police, and asked the force for an explanation, which was received yesterday evening. So the police watchdog is absolutely concerned with the conduct of Lancashire Police and are going to investigate into that. And even the Home Secretary herself is like pretty much turning around and being like, Lancashire Police, what up? What the frick do you think you're doing? I'm demanding answers now, because ultimately you've got the watchdog, but it's the Home Secretary that really has the power and the sway to potentially make heads roll over all of this.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's interesting,
they're in trouble.
Yep. I hope so. Someone needs to be, because the other problem of this is like they want to stop the wild theories, right? They say here that the wild theories are what's causing all these problems, and they want to stop that, and they need to stop the theories and start looking for her. And I agree to an extent. I understand what they're saying here. Hold on, there's so many links I'm now trying to go through, but hold on, here it is. There was a statement from the family. I thought I had that too.
Oh,
here it is. Families ask public to stop speculating and focus on the search. Focus has become distracted as police are criticized for disclosing these health information, but we as a family believe that the public focus has become distracted from finding Nikki and more about speculation and rumors into her and Paul's private life. As a family, we were aware beforehand that Lancashire Police last night released a statement with some personal details about our Nikki. Although we know that Nikki would not have wanted this, there are people out there speculating and threatening to sell stories about her. This is appalling and needs to stop. Due to the perimenopause Nikki suffered with significant side effects such as brain fog, restless sleep, and was taking HRT to help. This was giving her intense headaches, which caused Nikki to stop taking the HRT, thinking that may have helped her, but only kept causing the crisis. Public focus has to be on finding her and not making up wild theories about her personal life. Nikki is such a wonderful daughter, sister, partner, and mother, and is missed dearly. We all need you back in our lives. Nikki, we hope you're reading this and know that we love you so much, and your girls want to cuddle. We all need you home. You can reach out to us, or you can just contact missingpeople.org.uk. Don't be scared. We all love you so very much. So it's interesting, like the family even writing it in a way of like she just was on the run is what I guess they're trying to put maybe hope still for. All I know is this is all just strange. And I do think, while you don't want to be doing crazy theories, and the question is whether this guy, this podcaster was helping or not. Dan Duffy was his name. Here he is. And he was arrested for being in people's back gardens at nighttime. Now, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, I'm sorry. Even if you're trying to solve this case, and I guess they have a right, the place is public, People are allowed to go do what they want to do. That doesn't mean you're allowed to start snooping in people's backyards with web cameras in the middle of the friggin' night. I'm sorry, like that's just messed up. And then I know he went on to a Grizzlies channel.
Continue.
And so, you know, she was kind enough to sort of just trying to get intel of like, well, where were things? She always, you know, is trying to just really think about her maps, which she's smart about. And she likes all the intel. I get it. But this guy, you know, as I watch this,
you know, I've been on his property, you know, they've had to come out. They've been a bit, you know, annoyed because we've been on the property, we're trespassing. And that's my honest opinion. I think the guy.
Yeah, of course they're annoyed, dude. You're trespassing. You admitted it yourself. I don't even know what the hell. Like, this to me is too far. And I know, and I'm no blaming on Grizzly for having him on. Kudos for having a civil conversation. She doesn't get into the drama of it. She just gets the details out. But I would have probably thrust it back a little more. Why were you trespassing, dude? Like, what are you doing? How is this helping? This, to me, is where the line gets crossed. And again, I don't know this guy enough. I'm not trying to hate on him because I don't really know all the details, but I know enough to hear that he admitted to, you know, trespassing at night in people's backyards. But dude, Kim, go ahead, Kim. Does that annoy you too?
No, I was just going to say, I did watch some of Grizzly's stream from the other day, just a little stream, and she did clarify just for her own, just so we represent her, you know, I think accurately. She did say, you know, don't trespass. That's not okay. Right. I think we're all kind of that opinion that it's like, don't do that. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but at the same time, while there's extremes, because everyone's trying to get the TikTok views, and that's where this gets really depressing to me. Yeah, like I don't think though that all of them are bad. Like I think Grizzly is a great one where she really focuses on facts, and there are people who are using this information to try and figure out what actually happened. And as we all recall from the Gabby Petito case, it took Red, White, and Bethune to really help us discover her. If they hadn't been doing that and we hadn't been talking and they hadn't found that footage, I'm afraid we may never have found her the way. And then the laundries might have gotten away with it. So this idea that the true crime, you know, it's weird. It's almost like the mainstream media being mad at us in our news coverage. It's like, it's the same thing with the police, detectives, with the true crime community. There's a lot of them that go too far and need to, like the up churches of the world who cause immense, massive stress. I heard actually update, Birdie Little told me that he's being sued for defamation by some of that Kyle Rodney's family, which I hope is true, because what he did was horrific and never really took accountability. And his fan base was that. I don't care about that guy from Adam, but the things he said about that poor girl to the family was just unexcusable. And then he just kept with his ego trying to play like it. His fan base was so aggressive. It was disgusting. But I use him as an example. Joseph Morris, the guy who fakes evidence to sort of get clicks. Like, there are really bad apples in this bunch that are out there doing awful, awful things that put a bad name on this community. And we should call them out when it really gets that far, because we need to have some lines, right, in the ways we do things to make sure that we're not just out there trespassing, making shit up and doing whatever the hell we want. So I say that with all that said, I do also think there are good people out there that should be allowed to speculate and look into this, because I'm sorry, the Lancashire police suck and are not doing a very good job. And they're now revealing personal details. And I think we should be speculating, maybe even more so now, based on this, just the bad handling that they've done. I'm still confused, guys. Like, what happened? How on earth is she? I don't get it. They focus so much time on the river, and I agree with you both. It seems like they're just blaming her. Oh, it looks like the girl had menopause. She must have just tried to jump and kill herself. There must not be any other situation, so let's just focus on that, is really what it starts to feel like. Or even worse, like they're attempting to cover it up. Like, oh, we're putting this out there because we have to cover our asses as to this is why we didn't really do anything else. Like, I'm sorry, this is not a good look. It makes me even more angry. And I'm still like, what the hell happened? If they're going to give us anything, what happened to that camera? Why was it off? Did someone actually break it, nearby? Was that something that could have happened? Could someone have known, I'm going to dismantle this camera and know there's a blind spot? Was that just an error interior? You know what I mean? Like, there are real questions there that I'm curious about. I heard at one point there was a van they were trying to check out that was actually there during the time period. I have so many more questions that take me out of the river than I feel like many others have. And I still don't see the police acknowledging or accepting that. It's very frustrating to me. Where do you stand on the state of things, Steph, with this case? Is this starting to frustrate you even more? You're muted.
Sorry. Sometimes I mute myself if I'm coughing. So I think the state of things is absolutely dire with the police force. I know our police force can do better than this. So it's also frustrating as well because this is pretty much all on the world stage at the moment. And just from like a PR perspective, they're proper letting us down in the UK. So Lancashire Police should be hanging their heads in shame in terms of the absolute shambles that they've created in this case. I think that they focused on the river way too long. I think they've missed opportunities and they've wasted time. And all in all, I think it's quite right that the police watchdog is going to investigate them. And hopefully there is going to be some accountability, especially with the superintendent and the deputy superintendent. They've been ridiculous in terms of their whole leadership with this all. And be more specific, releasing that kind of information about her turning to alcohol because she's going through the menopause and the depression and all that malarkey. Why release that? If anything, that's going to fuel the fires even further in terms of more speculation, which is not what the family want, right? And especially not what the police want. They're absolutely shot themselves in the foot. Absolutely ridiculous. So the one thing that really kind of confuses me is they've released pictures of other people that were around the area at the time, right? With what the CCTV in the area captured. Yeah. The one thing that they haven't released up until this moment, to my knowledge, is the CCTV capturing Nicola Bulley. And what she looked like and how she was either before she entered into the park, the River Parkway. But they were releasing all these other pictures of, right, we want to speak to her, we want to speak to this dude, and they found them in the end. And surely those CCTV cameras would have captured Nicola Bulley as well around that area, but they haven't released that. Why?
Well, it's interesting. And I'm looking at this updated because everything's still coming in, but she could have just walked away to move on with her life, claims ex-cop. Former detective who has worked on a number of high-profile cases, has been closely following, and says it's not impossible that she just walked away. She says apparently the way that those cameras were, the one that was off, she could have just turned around, went back the way she came, and if Nicola returned on the path she came, there's no CCTV. When police say they don't believe she left the area, there's no certainty in that. She could have left on the same route she came on. I've walked the route, and she could have easily just disappeared up there without being seen by anybody. He also cast doubt on her being the river. That is where the major problem is. He added her body would have had to go round two bends in the river and an area in the middle of the river with undergrowth. And also would have had to get over the Wyre and then across the rocks and around a bend of 90 degrees. Had she just passed the Wyre, chances are the tides would have brought the body back. I think she left this area in one way or another. She either left the area further downstream in the water, not at the bench, but further downstream where the river is tidal, or she is still in this area having moved away to move on with her life. I rule out third-party involvement. Whatever happened to Nicola's life, there are people out there who can help. She's gone somewhere. She hasn't simply vanished. Is she in the water, in which case her body would turn up somewhere? Is she on land somewhere? And hopefully people will find her if that's the case. And of course, if she's moved on to get on with her life, then she'll have contact with people. He also called Nicole's partner and her family to reveal more about her life. He said, I think he should come out and say, yes, Nicola's life recently had been difficult. It's been a challenge, but we all have challenges. Let's focus on finding her. So yeah, interesting. And again, honestly, the statement that came from the family sure does read as if there are problems. And again, it's hard to reach out, but it's like, please come home. We forgive you, and type of language definitely screams like there's something else wrong at home, which again, no judgment here. Who the hell knows? Everybody's got their own issues. But it's just about finding out the truth as to what happened. And it's so frustrating because if this detective is right and she just literally walked back the way, sort of gave up on the call, had a breakdown and decided to F it and just walked off and whatever personal reasons at home. And they're like, she's in the river. She's in the river. Like, how dare they not have more, thought process to think, okay, she called that there was incidents with this, whatever medication or lack of it. She had called the Watchdog before. I'm sorry. What the hell? Kim, thoughts?
I think from a PR perspective, this definitely does not make the cops look good. I know cops have a hard job, but I feel like they're not making it any easier on themselves with the way that they've handled this. Stigma to do with mental health, stigma to do with women and their hormones is real. And I think that's where I just get really frustrated with this, is that there's no reason that all of these avenues should not have been investigated. And so much wasted time focusing on this river. And all I can think of is that I really hope that it wasn't a profiling issue. I really hope that it wasn't people choosing to only focus on certain things that they thought would equate to her, maybe hurting herself. I don't know, because we got 2 little girls right now. I believe she's 2 children, right? She's 2 kids.
Yeah.
Got 2 little girls now that don't know where their mom is and may never know. And instead of the police being upfront about everything and being honest and dealing with it, we're going to complain about the public. We're going to complain about speculation. We're going to, it's just, this is the frustration. It's just so sad. It's so sad. And I hope if she is out there that she knows that she can come home. And I'm sure she'll be welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, well said. The more I'm seeing it's that. I mean, because I agree, the third party part of it just feels weird. It would have to be someone she knew. I feel like, because there's just, how in all that public area, how do you not have single noise or sign of struggle? That one's hard for me, and I've heard the experts sort of rule that out too. It would have had to have been someone she knew, involved somehow. Or as some people are saying, the husband, which the family and everyone's ruling out. But I don't know. I don't know this man. There's another theory I have now. That's every time we wait and don't publish it, Steph, the more and more I think is potentially the real motive as to what's happening. I will quit putting that off, and I will make sure Steph and I convene to organize the material that we have to potentially put out a speculative video. No offense to the family. I think we need to put those eyes out there, because I think that theory makes more sense to me than anything else I've seen potentially. Do you agree, Steph, without dropping that information? Muted again? Always just unmute yourself.
I'm going to start calling you Elaine.
Just call me Elaine. Yeah.
Elaine!
Yeah. I have my alter ego now. It's sorted. Right. So, yeah. I knew, yeah. I had an inkling, let's say, it was potentially something to do with that, just speculative and all that jazz. And bear in mind, guys, that I haven't seen any other channel have this information, or any other media outlet, mainstream media outlet, having this information. I dug it up, I found it. And so, yeah, stay tuned for, I would like to see an exclusive on Popcorn Planet.
Yeah, rather than just tease it now, I think the more we've said, likewise, I'm like, let's not even tease it too much, because I don't want someone else to go find it. I'm kind of in shock no one else has found it. And the fact that we have that, I'll make sure we get that out for you either later today or tomorrow.
Oh, you got to pay for it. Maybe that's why.
Oh, is that? Wow, interesting.
Oh, yeah, I had to pay for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Well, there we. I didn't know that. Well, good to know. That's why. But stay tuned. There is a potential motive for me that, again, we're speculating. This is not like definitive proof of it by any stretch of the imagination, but it does add to the puzzle where you're like, well, that one makes sense to me. Why all these questions you're asking? Why would she walk away from her kids, et cetera, et cetera? This could potentially offer that. So I don't mean to tease it, but I want to properly organize it and give that to you guys properly. So I'll make sure we get that tomorrow, because I need to bank some stuff for this weekend as well. So stay tuned. We will give you that update. In the meanwhile, make sure you subscribe, not only here, but all the channels, Kim's and Steph's. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for all alerts, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below to make sure you don't miss these updates. And this one is a doozy. Make sure you support It's Kim as well as Steph the Alter Nerd if you're watching on the replay. If you're watching live, we're not done yet, but if you missed the live, hit that join button. There it works finally. Hit the join button. You can pick a tier, become a member of the Planeteers, and you'll be supporting and getting the replays of all our full live shows whenever you want. So